It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast. You know, on Saturdays, we play fun music and we feature great information at 993thevine.com with me, Big Rick Stewart, and music from my time at Live 105 and at KFOG. We also mix in some stories that I find kind of interesting, whether it's local music or food or tech or just kind of some cool things I think you ought to know about. It's always lots of fun. Fun music and great information happens every Saturday at 993thevine.com. And the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack Podcast features great information like this. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. Lots of news for Oakland A's fans this week. Not all of it great news. The Oakland A's announced that they bought some land in Las Vegas. Now, my studios and my new home is all down here in Las Vegas. I'll give you a little detail on this. The A's bought land for a new ballpark in Las Vegas right next to the Strip. It's actually right across from the Strip, near the T-Mobile Arena, which is where there are lots of concerts. I saw Stevie Nicks there recently and some others. It's also where the Golden Knights play their hockey, and their hockey playoffs happening right now. And it's about a mile from Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. So it's pretty centrally located. It's right off Tropicana, and it's right next to the 15 freeway. They're talking about not just having a stadium there, but also a little walkway from the Strip over to where the A's stadium will be built and ready to play in a couple of years. Kind of devastating news for fans who are hoping they could work something out with the city of Oakland, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. What is happening is a reverse boycott. This is where fans are encouraging other fans to actually buy tickets for a game to show that there are A's fans. And whether they're going to play in Vegas or not next few years, seems like a good idea. It's always fun to go to A's games. The right field bleachers fans are crazy and wild, and that's a really fun place to sit. It's affordable. You can take kids. You can take the whole Little League team. June 13th is the date to buy tickets for the reverse boycott, being led by Stu Clary. He is on Twitter at HeCanFoos, F-O-O-S, HeCanFoos. The date for the reverse boycott for the A's is June 13th. I might even buy some tickets. What the heck, why not? All right. Have fun, A's fans, while you can. And thanks for listening to the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. This is from Business Insider. New Massachusetts bill would give companies with 4-day work weeks tax incentives. Oh, this is like totally such a great idea, right? A new Massachusetts bill would kind of shorten the work week by a day. That would be good. Now, this is kind of based on science, kind of, sort of. A UK study last year found a 4-day work week decreased stress and anxiety for nearly 3,000 workers. Yeah, did you have to study that? I guess you did. A bill introduced last week by Representatives Dylan Fernandez and Josh Cutler would implement a 2-year tax credit program for businesses that transition at least 15 employees to a 32-hour work week with the same pay, and then report on the impact on productivity and morale. They're going to talk about this and, maybe pass this. Now, Fernandez said on Twitter, Americans have not had a meaningful reduction in days off since the 40-hour work week was invented nearly a century ago. There's been huge technology improvements and we've become much more efficient workers, but we're still working the same amount of hours or more. All right. I don't know if this bill's going to pass or not. I kind of hope it does. It seems like it's the right thing to do. But if I could place bets, I would bet that Dylan Fernandez and Josh Cutler will be reelected the next time the votes are cast. We'll have to follow this and let you know what happens for a 4-day work week. All right, I kind of like it. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's working today here on a Saturday. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Maybe you are as well. Fun music and great information right here at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack, fun music and great information. This is from tomsguide.com. Good tech stuff there. Apple TV 4K launching huge upgrade for sports fans. Wow, pretty cool, right? This just happened, and they've got new features for Apple TV. I think they have, do they still have that same terrible remote? The last time I had an Apple TV, the remote was just like, I could not figure it out. But now they've got this new feature, so maybe I'll have to figure this out. Are you ready? Watching multiple games at once. I don't mean picture in picture. I mean, if you're watching 2 games at once with this new Apple TV feature, you can have both the same size or opt for one to be larger than the other. If you go to 4 streams at the same time, 4 games at once, you'll have the option to have them split apart, or you can also have one bigger than the other if that's the game you're focusing on. And of course, I guess you can switch around and all that stuff. It's going to support 4 streams of live games, and this is happening right now, so go check it out. Sign up for Apple TV Plus to get this, and then that's going to cost you about $7 a month with the plans and all that. And make sure to upgrade all your software and do all these things, and you can be sports crazy on one TV. And TVs are gigantic these days, so it's not like the old days of 32-inch TVs. Nobody even has those anymore, I don't think, right? The only thing is, I wish this was available for movies. Imagine if you could watch 4 Star Wars movies at the same time, or 4 Fast and Furious movies at the same time, or 4, I don't know, whatever you want to watch. But for now, it's for sports. And there you go. Apple TV fans, go do some updates and software upgrades and sign up for all the stuff and knock yourselves out. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music, great information at 993thevine.com. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information with me, Big Rick Stewart. I use Instagram a lot. You can find me there. It's pretty easy. You can find us there as well, 993 The Vine. But one thing that kind of sucks about Instagram, don't we all agree? How come they don't have links? Like, links, it was like the first thing that ever happened on the internet, and they still don't have that. Well, you can have a link in your profile, but, well, all right, they're making progress. You can now add 5 links to your Instagram profile. That's pretty cool. Now, some people use this thing called a Linktree. You might have seen some of those. You don't have to use that anymore. Well, I mean, you still can, but you can actually add links to your Instagram profile. They announced this update this week. I think it's available for everybody. I haven't done it to mine yet, but I'm sure that I will. If you want to do this, you go to Edit Profile and then click on the Links tab. Tap on Add External Link, and then you put in the hyperlink you want to include, give it a title. Once you're done, tap the check mark icon. Isn't that cool? When you go back to your page, you'll see your first link and then the text that will say, and one other, if you've added 1 link or 2 or 3 or whatever it is. How about that? You can also include, you have an option to include a Facebook profile link. Facebook owns Instagram and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm sure you can figure this out. It's not that hard to do. And well, we're making some progress here on getting links on Instagram. You can now add 5 links to your Instagram profile without having some other thing to do it for you. So give it a try and good luck. And search for me on Instagram and give me a follow. Lots of pictures of food and other things. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's 99.3 The Vine. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. It's the Wine Country Saturday Soundtrack. Fun music and great information every Saturday here at 99.3 The Vine. Thanks for tuning in. If you're online at 993thevine.com, thank you, and tell all your friends. I got this story from timeout.com. This is one of my favorite kind of new websites where I like to find stories. Here's the headline. Italy is now fining tourists who take too long to snap a selfie. This is evidently become such a problem that they've decided to kind of do something about it, right? So just know that for your next Italian vacation, especially if you're going to Portofino, this popular coastal fishing village, known for their colorful houses overlooking the sea, there's a $300 fine if you hang around a little bit too long. This is evidently one of the hottest spots for some selfie photos in Italy. And they say you can do this by doing a search for the hashtag Portofino to see these 2 spots in particular where people just hang out. The mayor of Portofino, Matteo Viacava, claimed that the anarchic chaos, in quotes, created by tourists stopping to take pictures has resulted in massive traffic jams and blocked streets. This all kind of went into effect over Easter weekend when it was super crowded, and they're getting ready for a busy summer season, gonna make a little money off of those selfies. And I started thinking, what about in Napa Valley? What about the Welcome to Napa Valley sign, right? Just north of Yountville and up by Calistoga. I don't know if there's always that bad of a scene, But it's kind of wild and crazy there sometimes, especially in those warm summer days, right around sunset. Get those awesome photos. People take photos and photos and photos. It's kind of wild. All right, well, whatever. Just be prepared not to linger too long in Portofino, Italy this summer. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's a Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information every Saturday here at 993thevine.com. Hey, it's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. I'm Big Rick Stewart. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Got some details on this Netflix password sharing crackdown. And this is from a website called 9to5Mac, which is actually pretty good. They've always got some good tech information. Netflix has a problem, and that is that a lot of people share passwords with each other, and they just log onto their accounts, and I don't know if they split the monthly fees or whatever. Now, I don't mean like in your house. I mean, your buddy living across the country or something. These things happen. Well, Netflix is cracking down on this, and they've released some details on how this is going to work. Are you ready? The new system, which is now currently happening in 4 countries, prevents users from sharing passwords with people outside of their households by requiring a device logged into a Netflix account, your phone or tablet or whatever, to log into the home Wi-Fi network of that account at least once every 31 days. All right, so that means that people in your house, they're logging on to that and they're all good to go. Now, they're going to track this using what they call IP addresses, which is kind of like the internet version of your home address, 125 Main Street or something. So they'll know where you're logging in and using your passwords. So they say you can do this like every 31 days and you'll be good to go in case you travel or do something like that. Or, maybe you watch at your job. Not that people would watch Netflix at their job or anything, but you know what I'm saying. They've actually been doing this in a few other countries, and Netflix says that, it's kind of been working okay in places like Canada, New Zealand, Portugal, and Spain. And they're going to be advising you on how to do this. Evidently, in some of these other countries, you can pay a fee to allow this if you travel extensively or something. I'm sure Netflix will be in touch. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Thanks for hanging out today. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. It is Record Store Day, which is really cool. Record Store Day got its start way back when there was like free comic book store day or whatever. And so it was about comic books, and now there's one for records, and of course they put out all these special records and box sets and more. One of the things that happened when Record Store Day took off and became a huge hit, which it is that there was a really hard time getting the vinyl pressed. I mean, you think about if you're going to make these box sets of whatever, Led Zeppelin or something, whatever, right? You have to press the records and make them somewhere. Well, there wasn't that many record places available anymore to do this, and the ones that were taken up by all of these special pressings. But things have kind of come online, and that situation has gotten a little better. Metallica recently announced that they have acquired Furnace Vinyl Pressing Plants. And this is a huge pressing plant back east. And yes, they did make deluxe box sets of some of the Metallica releases, but a lot of others as well. And the vinyl sales have taken off over the years. And these guys got their start in 1996. They are out in Alexandria, Virginia, a 70,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. And they make special colored vinyl, special effects vinyl, etchings, box sets, and more. And they make it for all kinds of different music and all kinds of different artists. And now they are owned by Metallica, which is, I don't know, that's kind of cool. You write the songs, you record the songs, you have your own vinyl pressing plant, and you release your records. That's kind of cool. So anyway, Metallica contributing to the music for everyone to listen to by purchasing a vinyl pressing plant. I like this story. Happy Record Store Day. It's the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Fun music and great information here at 993thevine.com. Well, those are some stories that I have featured on the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack. Tune in at 8 a.m. every Saturday at 993thevine.com. I'm Big Rick Stewart here. Music from my days at Live 105 and KFOG, some current songs, lots of surprises and more. It's always lots of fun. We have a 10 at 10, a Beatles brunch at noon. It happens all day. The Wine Country Saturday soundtrack and the Wine Country Saturday soundtrack podcast. Tell your friends, and thanks for listening to this podcast, and thanks for checking out 993thevine.com.